Hey, what's up? An alleged mastermind here. Today is the 43rd day of my commitment. I talk to the camera for 15 minutes every day, learning to speak English. Now, for the last few days, I've been talking a lot about English-speaking community of Kaluga. I decided to work on this idea and develop it just by talking more and more, learning how to persuade people to join the community, learning about all sorts of things related to making this community work, learning, it's actually my way of learning things. I talk a lot about what I am doing, and then I just see what I was talking about, and then I learn the actual stuff. So let's suppose that we have a conversation about social status. Before to study something about social status, I just go in my mind and ask certain questions like, what do I know about social status? Why it's important to talk about social status? How do I know what I know? Where did I learn it? And I, again, asking certain questions, trying to create a kind of precise picture, a mental image of what it is, and then checking it on the internet, on YouTube, in books, and just comparing my picture, my view, my understanding of the thing with what I may find. And the same thing with English speaking community. So I have a certain mental picture of this organization, let's call it that way. And I try to elaborate on that picture. I try to make it more vivid. I try to talk about it and see what works and what doesn't work. And then I eliminate everything what doesn't work and talk more about things which make me really understand how to develop the community. But after those few days, I realized that it had a kind of negative impact on my productivity, let's call it that way. So I was thinking about an English-speaking community of Kaluga, and the first time when this idea came to my mind, I was really excited about it. I was thinking, wow, that's great. I may just talk about it every single day for 5, 10, 15 minutes and develop this idea just by talking about it. And after a few days, I see that I need to study more. So instead of just talking a lot about the community, I already said basic things. So I already described in general what it's going to be like. And then instead of repeating over and over what I want to get out of this community, how I can create it, what I need to do, I just decided to go and study more. So read books related to all sorts of things which people need where they make a community. So I need to understand people, why they want to join certain communities, what makes community something really amazing. And all this, of course, I may talk about it, but I want first to study a little bit more. So I don't want to talk about English speaking community every time when I have a self-talk. And also I decided that since it made me very restless, like it made my mind very restless, this idea of English speaking community, I was thinking for the last few days about this idea all the time. Well, not all the time, but most of the time when I did my daily routine, when I was, doing exercises, brushing my teeth, having breakfast, I was thinking most of the time about the community. So when there was no special activity which required me paying attention, I was thinking a lot about this community, and I realized that it's not healthy actually, because I prefer to to stay present. It's kind of, no, I prefer to think about my actions. I don't like to think a lot about things which are not present. I have certain exercises like writing exercise or meditation where I allow myself to think about whatever there is on my mind. But most of the time I prefer to train my attention to focus on actions which I am doing. So when I study English, when I study it by learning my actions and learning to pay attention to my activity. And when I do these actions, when I'm performing some, again, exercises, if I think about something irrelevant, something in the future, I actually don't like it. So if I do physical exercises, I like to ask myself questions like where I am. Okay, I am in the room. What am I doing? I am doing the exercise. Why am I doing the exercise? I want to improve my health. I want to gain strength, whatever. And when I am doing exercise, I want to think about exercise, about this activity. But since I started talking about English speaking community a lot, it makes me think about it more than necessary, and at the time when it's not actually needed. So now, as I said, I want to change my approach and think more about my daily routine and record these videos, talk about what I'm actually doing instead of making plans and talking about abstract ideas. I have 6 minutes. Yesterday I said at the end of the video that I'm gonna learn to slow down. I've noticed that, again, I'm speaking too fast. I need to make pauses. I need to learn how to finish sentences. This is very important, and since this is my exercise, I may learn to do that while working on the exercise. Anyway, today I have a speaking club and I'll have a conversation about social status. For the last 6 days, I was studying different concepts related to social status. I memorized 5 definitions and I'm gonna repeat these definitions once again right now. The first is self-image. Self-image is a mental picture, generally of a kind that is quite resistant to change, that depicts not only details that are potentially available to objective investigation by others, height, weight, hair color, etc., but also items that have been learned by persons about themselves, either through personal experience or by internalizing the judgments of others. So this is self-image. Social status. Social status is a measurement of social value. Social status is based on beliefs of members of a society about who holds a comparatively less or more social value. Social stratification refers to society categorization of its people into groups based on socioeconomical factors like wealth, income, race, education, ethnicity, gender, occupation, social status, or derived power. Social class is a set of concepts in the social sciences and the political theory centered on models of social stratification, which occurs in a class society, in which people are grouped into a set of hierarchical social categories, the most common being higher, middle, and upper classes. Higher, middle, and lower. Yeah, upper, middle, and lower classes. The last definition is social mobility. Social mobility is the movement of individuals, families, households, or other categories of people within or between social strata in a society. So these 5 definitions, I've memorized them today is the last day where I repeat them. From tomorrow, I'm gonna learn, actually from today, I'm gonna learn new definitions related to the next topic. And then every day I'm gonna add one more definition. At the end of the next week, I'm gonna repeat 5 different definitions. And then again, a new week, I'm gonna learn new definitions. And eventually at the end of the month, like every time when I reach 20 definitions, I repeat them all. And then go back and again memorize new and new definitions. I don't know, now it feels a little bit, I actually like to do this exercise. I like to memorize things and train my memory to hold in mind a lot of information, structured information, not just all sorts of nonsense. And on the other hand, it makes me a little bit restless, and it makes my mind work more than necessary. For example, yesterday I had a kind of feeling that there was a sort of cognitive overdose. So I used the word cognitive overdose to explain the situation where I study a lot and I feel excited. I want to continue studying. I want to continue reading. I want to continue watching lectures. I want to continue writing, mastering my speaking skills. But in the same time, there's noise. So there are problems with my sleep. So I can't fall asleep because I think a lot. There's noise which appeared first time 3 years ago. 3 years ago, 2017, when I was studying language for half a year uninterruptedly. At the May of 2017, I started thinking in English, and it took me almost half a year to shift my mind to think in English all the time. And when I shifted my mind to think in English all the time, when I was reading books every day for hours, watching lectures for hours, and the rest of the day just writing, doing speaking exercise and thinking, after a month, it was at the end of November 2017, there was noise. What the noise? Noise is kind of, no, it's not actual noise. It's just, maybe it's a feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but in Wikipedia I found the medical condition which is called tinnitus. And tinnitus is, when I was reading about this tinnitus, I realized that what I experience is almost the same, but it seems to be a condition which is which is like you experience it all the time. So if you have this tinnitus, it means that you have it all the time. But in my case, it occurs only when I study language for a long period of time, uninterruptedly, when I'm completely focused on studying. And when I do it like 16 hours a day. So, and I don't like it. I want to learn how to control this process of studying. And this really bothers me when there's tinnitus. And last night I had it again. So it was not strong, just maybe for an hour, and it was not annoying because I could control it. So if I just turn to the other side, it disappeared. And now I want to slow down in my studying as well. So I don't want to study too much. But probably it happened because yesterday, the whole day, I was writing and reading, and I was really focused on writing. I learned many new words. I learned some techniques, and I was reading and writing too intensively. So I was sitting on the computer and writing just one paragraph, and it took me for about 3 or 4 hours to write this paragraph, but mostly I was reading. So I had an idea, and I developed this idea, but I developed it not like I do usually when I, for example, write my journal. I don't think too much. I don't use the internet. I just sit down and write whatever there is at this present moment. I don't use special words. I don't try to find some sophisticated vocabulary, sophisticated expressions. But yesterday it was exactly the opposite. I was reading a book, and then Communist Manifesto, and then when I found some beautiful way of expressing an idea, I tried to put my ideas in the same structure. I tried to use structures from the book to put my own thoughts and to develop my own thoughts. And again, there were adjectives, there were nouns which I didn't use, and I tried to like kind of make it. And yeah, and as I said, it took me for 3 or 4 hours, and it was an intensive work, and I read lots of like definitions of many different words, and eventually it led to the point where at the night I was laying and thinking, man, like, what's going on? There's too much. It's like cognitive overdose. So I need to slow down. Anyway, now I'd like to stop this video since it's already 17 minutes. So see you next time. Bye bye.